Welcome to our today's podcast, the Miirror, the show that discusses and mirrors issues that affect the society, the country, and the world at large, and also discusses issues relating to sports. Our topic for today is high cost of living, which poses significant challenges to its citizens, impacting their financial stability and overall well-being. In today's episode, I'm also pleased to be joined by my colleague here, Miss Immaculate. So ensure to listen all the way through. Once again, welcome. I'm your host, Clement Ouma. It's now my humble time to welcome my colleague to this podcast. She's here, provide an expertise, answer questions, and also give her story. Welcome to the podcast, Miss Immaculate.
Thank you.
And just a quick reaction to the topic that we are discussing today. What is your reaction to the high cost of living experienced in Kenya today?
First of all, I would like to say thank you for welcoming me today. What I might say is that in our country today, something that is causing us to have high cost of living is that most of our leaders, the leaders we chose, most of them are corrupt. They are looking upon their families alone, they are not considering other Kenyans who chose them. That's the problem. And the second problem is the borrowing a lot of money from other countries. It's too much. The problem is that they are borrowing the money, but when it comes, they are using it on another different projects that is not helping the Kenyans. And that is the main causes that are making Kenya go down, and the cost of living is going high every day.
So, according to you, the maybe different activities done by the government are the main factors that are making life unbearable to Kenyans and hence making the high cost of living to rise. So what's your view on the percentage of Kenyans who are experiencing the high cost of living? Do you think it's a higher or a lower percentage according to maybe what you have experienced before as a Kenyan, or as someone who has done maybe a kind of a research on the high cost of living in Kenya?
According to me, the percentage of Kenyans who are suffering right now is higher, because when we look the percentage of all Kenyans, let me say 100%, like 20% or 10%, let me just say 10% are the leaders. And those are the only people who are benefiting in Kenya. Meaning the high percentage of people that we have in Kenya are the ones suffering compared to the leaders.
Right. So when we talk of the main factors or contributors to the high cost of living in Kenya and even in other countries, more so in Africa, we find that there is unemployment and underemployment in most African countries. But specifically when we are talking of Kenya, because we are Kenyans, so do you think there is a lasting solution to unemployment and underemployment? And do you think what are some of the solutions to employment and underemployment in Kenya as we speak?
For that, those people who are employing us or employing Kenyans, most of them is the government. And in the government, we have leaders. And of course, leaders are just looking for their families. They are not considering other Kenyans or other people that are suffering down there. If you don't have a connection in the government, you're not going to get a job. So the solution here is let the leaders have equalities. Let not be there the injustice that they are doing. Let them look all Kenyans. Don't let them consider the families. Especially, let me say, the Kenyans, many Kenyans have learned. We have so many people who have graduated. But because they don't have connection in the government, they are not getting the jobs. So the only solution is let them change and employ all people. Let them not look on their families alone. Yeah.
Okay, so you mean most of the time when it comes to employment, nepotism, tribalism are some of the reasons why the issue of unemployment is still a problem in this country.
Yes.
So most leaders, especially politicians, as we can say, when they get into their offices, the only thing they look for first is their relatives.
Yeah,
they look
true.
at their relatives first. They fix them into positions maybe that are not even in the constitutions. Then after fixing them there, they forget the common mwananchi who actually voted for them.
Yes,
So,
and who qualifies for that positions.
And who qualifies for that.
Yeah.
As a common mwananchi, when you apply for a job, I think maybe one day you've applied for a job or several job opportunities that might have been advertised. So how is it a challenge to you and to someone or someone somewhere who is also a youth and is also looking for unemployment? How is the issue of unemployment a challenge, or the issue of looking for a job a challenge when you do not have a connection? Which struggles can you undergo when looking for a job when you don't have something we nowadays called connection?
The struggles people are going through is that when you don't have a connection, maybe those people who want to employ you, they will need to be given something small. And in real sense, we have a high cost of living already. There is no money. Yes. So this common mwananchi, where is he or she going to get the money to pay so that he can be given the job? But anyway, we don't blame the government alone. Our young people, those who have graduated, after finishing school, at least just look for something to do. Don't wait for the employment, because you'll wait until maybe you die without the job. So at least, especially most of people, when we come from the villages, we have a lot of farm. You can go back and do farming.
Yes.
It can help you grow.
The problem is not the youth looking for what they studied in school. The problem is the finance. I think that's the main problem affecting the youth.
Yes.
So you might have a land where you can maybe plant your crops and whatever, but you do not have the necessary stuffs that will enable you to do the same. Mm-hmm. You lack finance.
Okay.
Maybe you were brought up in a poor family.
Okay.
So, people are not the same. So, you cannot actually blame someone who has just graduated, he or she is lacking a job, and what he requires is the financial assistance. I think, according to me, that's what the government should put into consideration. Because you find that someone has gone to a university, someone has gone to a college, he or she has studied something, maybe a course of his or her choice, but then maybe this person use the scholarships and the help to finance his or her education. But immediately you graduated from school, the government wants you to pay the amount that they financed you with, like the help, to repay the amount. And you are not employed. You're looking for a job, you can't get a job. You're looking for a job, you are asked for experiences, 10 years experience, 5 years experience, and you are just out of school. Why should the government just come up with mechanisms to ensure that when someone graduates from a university or a college, the person can be given time to maybe look for an opportunity, and those opportunities should be created, because you cannot just look for an opportunity which is not there. So they must be created first, and it is the duty and responsibility of the government to create such opportunities. So the issue of the youth maybe not getting jobs, or maybe starting their own stuffs or their businesses, or maybe going to farm before getting the jobs that they studied, I think the government should do something. I don't think if you kind of conform with what I'm talking about, or in support of my view on the same.
I support it.
Yeah. So what the government should do is just to give these people a chance and create opportunities for them, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we also have the issue of inflation, whereby you find that when inflation rises, the price of products and services will automatically shoot.
Yeah.
So how can the government handle this issue of inflation?
Maybe like for our farmers should be able to provide like maybe fertilizer, some seedlings, so that they can help them to produce more. And also maybe they chip in this transportation, like fuel. They should not allow that fuel to go high. At least let it be on a lower price, so that every farmer can be able to transport this food or his product that they have got in their farms. Yeah. So it's just as a matter of supporting the farmers and all those business the business dealers.
Yeah, when you talk of the farmers given fertilizers, some few months ago, I think those farmers should now be harvesting right now. They were given the fertilizers.
They gave out, but they never gave to all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the government will announce that they have given fertilizer to everyone. Mm-hmm. But when we go to the villages, deep in the villages, those people don't have that fertilizer.
Yes.
They just, maybe they give 2 or 3 people, and then they say they have...
And were they actually giving, or they were selling to them at a lower price?
Actually, they lowered the price after they have already planted. So I don't think it assisted, because maybe right now as they plant again, maybe they are benefiting, but before they never planted with that fertilizer. It was still high.
So they didn't use that fertilizer.
Yeah.
So
for this year, let me say no.
Was telling us was kind of rumors and hearsays.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, because I also heard from a politician saying that what the government gave out was supposed to be given for free, because they were given those fertilizers by...
It can never be for free.
No, my point is, just listen to my point. The government was given fertilizers from the outside countries, right? So when they were given those fertilizers, they were given for free. And these fertilizers were supposed to be given to farmers for free. Right?
Yeah.
So what the politician claimed is that the fertilizers were mixed with some kind of soil. After being mixed with some kind of soil, then they were sold again to farmers, which is unnecessary. How do you do that to someone you called mwananchi wa kawaida, as they purport to say, mwananchi wa kawaida, mtu wa bodaboda, mtu wa, I don't know the kind of stuffs they normally talk of. What's your view? Or do you think that the government actually did what the politician claimed, or they were just they're just politics being peddled around just to...
You know, I'm also a Kenyan mwananchi, a common one. Yeah. So I might not say it is true or it is false. I don't know. Because it might be rumors and it might be true. So maybe for those who got that who got that fertilizer, they can tell us more. But for me, I can't just say it was mixed by soil. Unless they tell us maybe there was fake fertilizer and the real fertilizer. Maybe there's that one they were selling on the high price and the cheaper one, or the real one they were given to the politician themselves, and then they gave out the wrong one. You never know. But I don't think they mixed with the soil.
So you are in support of the government that...
No, I'm supporting. I'm supporting the rumors that is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rumors might not be true. Because how can you mix soil with the fertilizer and the common wananchi can buy it? How can you buy this? Just let me say you go to the market, they sell you fertilizer, and then you realize it has soil inside. Will you not return to the shop? You cannot
realize what they do. They, after mixing the soil with mixing the fertilizer with
which kind of soil?
The normal soil, you know.
I know.
So
no, we normally put it in something so you can ensure you can be just seeing it, that soil.
Okay, let's leave that for another day. But my point is that recently, before providing the fertilizers, the head of state, the president, said that the price of unga will go down after maybe harvesting, or after the farmers have harvested their yield. So, and up to now, the prices are going up. I think you are experiencing the same.
Yes.
And farmers are harvesting. Why is it that the prices of commodities such as unga are still going up, contrary to what they promised? If they are just genuine on the fertilizers that they distributed to Kenyans.
So what should I say now? For me, I can't support that the price of unga should go down, because myself, my parents are farmers and they harvested maize. I can't allow my parents to sell their maize on a lower price.
They have to get
they never got the fertilizer. Okay. They bought it on their own money, so they have to sell and get profit. You can't tell them to sell it on a low price and get loss. That's the problem. So let me say, maybe in Nairobi here we are buying expensive unga, but back at home, the price of unga is down. So in Nairobi we don't do farming. And the problem also is, the second problem is, yes, there is maize. They have harvested those our maize and beans and so on. But you see, the price of fuel is high. So how will you expect the farmer from Western to transport the maize to Nairobi, and you expect him or her to sell it on a raw price? How? He has already spent a lot on the transportation. So he has to sell it on a higher price so that he can get his profit. Yeah, that's the problem. You can't be selling it at a cheap price and the transportation is high. No.
Okay, good. So I want us to leave that topic for another day. We want to look now at the solutions or the mechanisms that the government or you as an individual, someone like me, someone like you, and the other person can put in place to ensure that the high cost of living is tackled and the problem is well solved. So what do you think the government can do as for now to ensure that the high cost of living goes down?
Okay. For the high cost to go down, high cost of living to go down, right now most of the problem that Kenyans are crying out is about food. So the only thing the government should do, maybe they support this fuel, let me say transportation cost.